Welcome to Austin, Texas, where the topo chico flows free, the Kalache is king, and the mountain biking is way better than you would have ever imagined. That's right. In case you haven't been paying attention, the Lone Star State has been undergoing somewhat of a mountain bike renaissance period, and right at the heart of this is the state capital, Austin. When most people think of Texas, they probably think of barbecue, cowboys, and big open plains full of livestock. Texas isn't the most voluptuous of states, but Texas is massive. Trust me, I just drove across it. And believe it or not, within the state there are actually quite a bit of mountains, as well as an entire region known for its tall, rugged hills, which is exactly where Austin is located. This is all besides the point though, as we all know it's not about the elevation you have, it's how you use it. Thanks to my YouTube community, Austin found itself on my radar, so during my trip across the country last month, I made a point of stopping to check it out. And man am I happy I did.
So halfway down, I kind of just leapfrog off the bike and see a tree and just grab onto it and like Tarzan around it and just walk it out.
This is Scott. You all may recognize Scott from Seth's Bike Hacks Dirt Diaries video, in which Seth introduced Scott to the wonderful world of mountain biking. And from what I can tell, he hasn't looked back. Scott may be pretty new to mountain biking, but he has spent the last 10 years of his life in Austin, making him the perfect person to show me around both the town and trails for the next few days. Trails. Let's start there. During my visit, we were able to check out 3 different riding destinations in and around Austin: Flat Creek Ranch, Cat Mountain, and Spider Mountain. Although this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of trails in the area, each one of them was very unique, very well maintained, and very fun. In my experience, the key to fun is to have trails that are designed and built by actual mountain bikers. Not surprisingly, when left to their own devices, mountain bikers tend to build the stuff that they themselves want to ride. Things like tech lines, jumps, and wooden features. The thing is, in places like national or state forests, builders can't just build whatever they want. Because the land is government owned, building new trails is much more complicated, often with multiple user groups sharing the same land. Thus, the resulting process of getting new trails approved can become laden with bureaucracy and restrictions to building. This isn't the case here though, but why? To understand the trails in Austin, you first need to understand a few things about the land. Although Texas is the second largest state in the country, less than 1.5% of that land is federally owned, with the vast majority being privately owned ranches. This fact may have hindered the trail building in the past, but is also part of the reason that things are working so well now. Unlike in North Carolina, where most of the trails I ride are located in national and state forests, all 3 of the trails I rode in Texas were located on private land that granted dedicated access to mountain bikers and creative freedom to trail builders. The result? Trails built specifically for mountain bikers by mountain bikers, and it showed. As a famous uncle once said, "With great power comes great responsibility." And there is indeed a price to pay for this freedom, as each of the trails I rode followed a pay-to-play format, which charges users for access to ride the trails. Now, I'm sure there are both pros and cons to this format, but I kinda like the idea of directly supporting the trail I frequent the most, and even better, getting to see the direct result of my contribution as it goes right back into trail maintenance and trail building. Take Flat Creek Crossing Ranch for example. To ride there cost me $10, basically a 6-pack. That's not a small amount of money, but without it, there probably wouldn't be this amazing new jump line for Scott, Eric, and I to session all afternoon. When I was learning to ride, I would have paid anything to live close to a set of dirt jumps like this. Any lingering anguish I had about parting with my cash quickly vanished after a couple hours running laps down this beautifully sculpted jump line. And with the completion of this video, the circle of life begins again. As the word gets out on this new jump line, more people will come to ride it, thus bringing more money in that will then go towards keeping the trails in great shape, as well as starting to plan even more new building. Build fun trails and the riders will come. Build challenging trails and the riders will keep coming back.
Go to your right! Ah! That was awesome!
My friend Eric has been staring this drop down for a while now, and it keeps him coming back to this same spot in the hopes that eventually he'll have the courage and skill to hit it. What are your concerns?
Nose diving. Because you're coming out and it's not like you have a really smooth run up.
Right.
So you come through the chunky stuff and then you just have to stay back a little bit so you're not nose diving or dead sailing.
I think you're on track.
I see, just come straight down here.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, you're lined up perfectly.
I think you definitely got it.
Yeah! Yeah, dude!
Becoming a more paw-some rider is something that we can all relate to. And one proven way to achieve that is by riding tails that push our limits. For riders in the area, feline, like challenging themselves and their skills, Austin has the perfect place.
Yeah!
I'm talking about Cat Mountain, of course. Of the places that I rode, Cat Mountain was paws down the most progressive. Littered with drops, jumps, formidable wooden features, and super steep rowdy descents.
Oh my God, yeah.
This place will undoubtedly leave many thinking, are you kidding me?
Holy you guys came into that fast.
Meow, I don't know if you can tell, but I had an absolute freaking blast riding here. I mean, just listen to these beautiful sounds of pure stoke from our ride.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, bud.
Not only was I very impressed with the level of riding, but I also think that Cat Mountain serves as a great example of so many things done right.
I'm Seth Buckner. Cat Mountain has been a passion of mine for a while. I'm looking to add more gnarly trails to Austin. 10 years ago, it was a little bandit trail. A group of guys were just kind of coming out here building some little downhill runs and had some little wood features here and there. And a dude that I bought some brakes from on Craigslist happened to buy the whole piece of property. So I messaged him, and like a week later, I was starting to dig out here, and that was about 3.5, almost 4 years ago now.
So say I'm coming in from out of town and I want to come ride this, what do I do?
Usually it's best to find me on social media. Just shoot me a message, and usually we can set up a group ride, just get a liability waiver signed, and then you can come out and check the place out.
What's your favorite thing about the Austin riding community?
Man, it's just a bunch of really cool dudes. Everybody's just super hospitable and welcoming, and just everybody wants to have fun together pretty much, you know?
Black Diamond trails are awesome, but you know what else is? Getting more people into riding. In addition to keeping existing mountain bikers happy, Texas seems to understand that in order to grow the infrastructure of this sport in the area, they also need to help foster the growth of the user base. This is achieved by offering a broad variety of trails for all skill levels, including beginners looking to get into the sport. Ironically enough, I saw this most evident at the Lift Access Bike Park. Oh, did I forget to mention they have one of these now? Spider Mountain is one of the newest additions to the local riding scene and boasts the first lift access mountain biking trails in Texas. Perhaps it's this very fact that makes it such a great place for people wanting to get their friends or significant others into riding. After all, no aspect of mountain biking has ever turned more people off than the pure physical difficulty of your first trail ride. At the risk of creating a bunch of park rats, taking new riders to Spider Mountain not only spares them the devastation of climbing in the brutal summer heat, but it also provides them with a controlled and safe environment to learn, as well as gear and bikes that they can rent instead of buy. In the winter months, this is also a huge win, as Spider Mountain is the only lift access trail in the country open year-round. During our day there, I saw all sorts of different riders, old and young, men and women, new and experienced, and it was so awesome to see such diversity coming together over our common stoke of riding. Great trails don't just appear out of thin air. Look closely behind any great trail system, and you'll find a passionate community of mountain bikers responsible for it. Austin is no different, and while in town, this became very evident to me while hanging out with my patrons from the area. Whether getting together for beers or going out to shred the trails, everyone I came in contact with immediately welcomed me as one of their own. I could see and hear how proud they were of their local scene and how keen they were to share it with me. I think this is a really important aspect of a successful mountain bike community, as sharing makes it all sustainable long term. Whether by attracting tourism to the area or simply growing the base user group, more riders equals more funds for infrastructure, which in turn leads to better mountain biking for everyone. The Texas mountain bike community seems to understand this, and it's exactly this sort of hospitality and welcoming attitude towards absolute strangers, all brought together through something as simple as riding a bike, that makes me certain mountain biking will continue to thrive here. The final key ingredient is actually one the area is already well known for. Austin has one of the most diverse and delectable food and beer cultures in the country, and I don't think it's any secret why this is such a crucial facet of any great mountain bike scene. While in town, I made it my mission to explore as much good food, beer, and coffee as I could get my hands on, and I was not let down. Just check out this absolutely ridiculous donut covered in fried chicken and smothered in honey. Thanks to BKXC for turning me onto this one. Or how about this scrumptious rack of tacos I demolished after our patron ride at Spider Mountain? And I don't think I'll ever forget about this stunning barbecue setup at the famous Salt Lick Barbecue. This was probably the best barbecue I've ever had, and funny enough, it was Scott's first visit here too. Even the breweries have incredible food. The food and drink in Austin is just better. A fact that helps keep the stoke of a day out on the bikes alive just that much longer. Even I was a little late to the party when it comes to the exploding mountain bike scene in Texas. Nonetheless, I'm really happy that I finally got to experience it. Although I'm not sure when I'll get to visit next, one thing I do know for certain is this thriving mountain bike scene is finally getting the attention it deserves, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, as I sure enjoyed creating it. Finally, I want to give a massive shout out to all my patrons that help give me the freedom to continue upping my video quality and style. I hope you guys are all enjoying the raw ride videos that came out of my Texas trip. That's it for today, and until I see you guys next time, you know what to do. Live free, ride hard, and get stoked.